Hi ho, hello everyone. How is everyone doing today on this glorious and beautiful day? I hope you all are doing well. I am so glad you guys could be here for this late night, early morning, midday stream. It all depends on wherever you are in the world, but I appreciate you guys joining me. So, I was late by a couple minutes here because I definitely did indulge in some candy beforehand. And I did tell Katie I was only going to have a few, but a few in my world means taking 3 strips of candy, rolling them all together, and then shoving them all in my mouth at the same time, and then thinking that I'm fooling my brain that it's only one big piece of candy. So, of course, I had candy all stuck in my mouth and in my teeth. And, so I didn't want to be like picking at it or making ridiculous noises because that absolutely grosses me out. So, of course, I had to go rinse out the old gnashers and come back. In Florida at your friend's birthday party and watching this on the big screen TV. Oh, I feel special. Well, happy birthday to your friend. I hope you all are having a great time and make sure you have a couple of drinks or a few or whatever you do down there. But happy birthday, Molly. I know, you know what? That is one of my ways of fooling myself. Like when I want to eat pizza, I'll usually stack one on top of one another and then I'll just say, oh, it's one piece. I learned that actually, unlike Meghan Markle, I give credit to where I learn things from. I learned that from the episode of The Nanny. If anyone watched The Nanny with Fran Drescher back in the day, I learned that trick from her. And I've always done that since I was like way younger. I would always stack 2 on top of each other, and that is one pizza. See? I mean, it's perfect. Yeah, it's a pizza sandwich. And it's still just one slice when you think about it. 'Tis my birthday. Well, happy birthday to everyone who is celebrating a birthday today. I'm so glad you could be here. I'm so glad everyone is here. Make sure you say hello to the mods. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. We've got some things to talk about here. And what I wanted to talk about is that a lot of people don't remember the allegations, let's say, because I don't want this billionaire Peltz family to come after me and, barbecue my bottom. But basically, back in the day, there were rumors about this family, and you would think Meghan Markle, who likes to claim that she is a very smart woman, that she is very bright, she's very nice. She is someone who has had multiple allegations of bullying against her. She has had many allegations lodged at her from the even before she met Harry. There were stories about Meghan not being a nice person, thinking that she is better than everyone, having a more self-inflated ego about herself than she actually should. And the Mail Plus, and Katie, don't worry about the link for this because I'll add it at the end of the stream. I made this into an archive because they stuck this behind a paywall, but they put together a little comprehensive list. Now, they missed a lot of incidents, but they just listed a few of Meghan Markle's bullying and things like that. Let me tell you, there is someone online, and I think Leilani of Barbados did a video on this not too long ago, but it was, I think, a couple, like a 1-part, 2-part, and a 3-part video about Meghan Markle and her lies. And basically, an individual on Twitter named a random Karen has been keeping a long running list of all of the lies Meghan Markle has told. And there is well up to like over 250 of them already listed and definitely growing. Yeah. It is absolutely crazy. I can't believe I remembered all that off the top of my head. But yeah, Leilani made a video about that because I remember I watched that. And the thing is that when you are constantly being accused of being a bully, when you are constantly being accused of not being a nice person, leaving random notes on a napkin for cabin crew on a flight doesn't make you a nice person. Doing little nice things for strangers just to make them think that you are a nice person doesn't mean anything when we see how you treat your family. We see how you have treated the queen. Hello, kids author Dave. I'm so glad you are here. Loved your recent books, Layson. The recent Pup Pack book. It was amazing. But yeah, kids author Dave actually writes some incredible, incredible books. You guys, I'm going to put some links down below after. You guys should go check them out. But yeah, apparently she was flying commercial. American Airlines, of all flight carriers, okay? Personally, myself, I would never fly American Airlines, and I am not a duchess. No, don't worry if you don't have the link. I'll grab it afterwards. Don't worry. But I would never fly American Airlines. That is just something that, nope, no, thank you, not my thing. But yeah, apparently she left a note for them on the cocktail napkin. And it is absolutely pathetic. You know, Catherine doesn't need to leave handwritten notes in chicken scratch for people to think that she is nice. Now, personally, myself, I wonder, remember how Meghan basically sued the Daily Mail for publishing too much of her father's letter because he was defending himself? Will Meghan Markle go and sue this American Airlines stewardess for making a video about this? Now, here's the thing. This video was released at the same time that Catherine was making her appearance at the HMS Glasgow and naming it. Now, obviously, it didn't get any traction, but today, because Catherine isn't doing anything, but people are still talking about how amazing she looked. This story is now starting to make the headlines and people is now starting to push it, but it's just so pathetic. You went from being a royal member within the British royal family, and now you are writing notes for people on American Airlines and then having them talk about it online. It is absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So, the Daily Mail Plus did a list of everything that Meghan Markle's done for bullying, from basically how she's been nicknamed Duchess Difficult. We all remember her bullying little Princess Charlotte when she was just 3 years old at the time. What kind of sick weirdo? Honestly, you have to be mentally deranged, and that is my opinion. You must be mentally deranged to bully a little 3-year-old. And you know why Meghan Markle bullied a little Princess Charlotte? She did that because she was jealous of a 3-year-old. She's jealous that a 3-year-old got to become a princess, and she wished that she was that little girl. I made a video not too long ago, I think, about how from the moment Meghan joined or started dating Harry, because, you know, she wanted access to everything real quick. I'm surprised that William and Catherine even allowed her to come into their Anmer Hall home, but they were like, okay, this is the woman that Harry likes. And then we hear, or like when they went to Kensington Palace and they saw what William and Catherine's quote unquote apartment looked like. And then all of a sudden, there was a story about the inside of Princess Charlotte's bedroom and what it looked like and what was in there. And I made a video about that because before that, we never got information like that. And many have said, and even Shallon Lester had said, that the moment Meghan Markle joined the royal family, it was a leaking ship. It was leakier than a sieve, okay? She was constantly talking. Susan says she also wanted to strike back at Catherine through her child. Just imagine how sick you have to be to do that. And you know what, Susan? Let me make this point here because you know how Meghan recently posted William and Catherine's the clothes that they wore to merch it on her website and put links on it, right? So she can get some kind of kickback from it. Did you notice how when she posted Archie and his or Arch official and his pajamas, there was no link, no nothing. Like, why wouldn't you include one either? But she wants to make money off of William and Catherine's children. Do you see how sick that is? That's what I noticed. And I was just like, this woman is absolutely, no, scratch that. This talentless, raggedy, ex-cable TV mattress actress, harlot, trollop, whatever you want to call it, lowbrow, gutter, absolutely vile, manipulative, just just the bottom of the barrel type individual, totally twisted. Yes, sick. Meghan is a vile creep, an evil creep who slithered into the royal family. She is definitely, yeah. The thing is that they coddled Harry. They coddled Harry to the point where they allowed a snake into the royal family. And that's just my opinion. M knows the California kids won't sell anything, but the Wales kids, children absolutely will. It's the Wales effect. But I don't think actual fans, like myself being a fan of William and Catherine, I would never go and click on a link that Meghan Markle is pushing for her to make money off of it. Because we all know that William and Catherine don't want their children monetized either, but that's who Meghan Markle is. But you would think, okay, with everything going on, Meghan's been called a bully how many times? How many staff has she lost? And there's a constant turnaround of staff. How many chief of staff has Meghan had just since they've moved to California? It's like a rotating door there, and they're constantly going through staff, and that just tells you something. But you would think if you have a reputation of being a bully, being a mean person, that you would stay away from someone who has that same reputation, would you not? Now, first of all, Meghan's been on a spiral. She's been having a manic episode since Catherine's been getting so much attention. And she posted this absolutely ridiculous photo. And I was thinking while I was looking at this picture, is number one, look, I'm not trying to be like body shaming or anything, but for a woman who's nearly 50, these arms are terrible. Like she needs some sunscreen, she needs some moisturizer, get some skincare routine or something because these arms are not aging well. But also, Meghan Markle is stirring a bowl full of nothing. She couldn't even put some flour into it to make it seem like she's stirring something in there, but you can tell she is stirring a bowl full of nothing, and it made me think that it's a very, very accurate representation of her entire excuse me, that's the candy starting to kick in. It's basically a very accurate representation of her existence. A bowl full of nothing. Absolutely squat. This is Meghan's life in a nutshell. This is her legacy. Meghan Markle has absolutely accomplished nothing when you really think about it. All alone, smiling into a bowl full of nothing. Yeah, it's like, I am so thankful for my non achievements. I am so grateful for my nothing that I have achieved. Jabber elbow. You guys are making fun of her bony elbows. Now, I'm not going to say anything because I don't have saggy elbows, but I do have little bony elbows. So I'm not going to say anything about the girl's elbows when I have the same bony elbows as her. But she could well do with some definite arm curls or something. For someone who claims that she does Pilates, Well, you think she has a mirror in the bottom of that bowl, maybe, and she's just smiling at herself like a lunatic? I wouldn't put it past her. But let me get to this because hold on. Can I just be petty for a second? Because there is something that Harry and Meghan are obsessed with empty bowls. Because remember this stupid photo that they published in their Netflix mess? And Harry is feeding this, I don't know, unknown, whatever. This is supposed to be an alleged child, which I think is a doll, but that's a whole different lie for another day. But he is feeding a bowl full of nothing. There's this bowl is completely empty, and he is pretending to feed this child with a spoonful of air. I don't know what's going on, but Harry looks completely zooted out of his mind. I'm only looking at a little bit of his face here, and he looks like he's mess. Looks like a high-end doll that he's feeding. It definitely does. Doll for sure. You guys think so also, right? From the palace to nothing. But let me tell you here. So Meghan Markle has a reputation of being a bully. And the thing is that you would think Meghan would steer away from this alleged drama that's going on between the Beckhams and the billionaire Peltz family and their daughter-in-law and their idiot son, Brooklyn, who thinks he is a chef all because he made a grilled cheese sandwich. Yes, the bar has been set low for Brooklyn Beckham, whose father is a soccer star. Maybe his father thought that he would follow in his footsteps and become a soccer star as well, but something about the idiot, for some odd reason, he cannot kick a ball and get it into the net. He seems to trip over himself. He can't cook. He can't take photos. Who knows what the hell that child can? Well, he's 25 years old, so he's not a child anymore. Maybe he's older now, but definitely a coddled nepo baby. And I feel like, in my opinion, like Nicola got married to Brooklyn Beckham because the Peltz family don't really like. Yes, they are worth a lot of money, but they don't have the last name notoriety like the Beckhams do. You mention the Beckham last name anywhere from Japan to like Calcutta to Mount Everest, all the way to Alaska and all the way else. You mention Beckham and people will notice. People will know who you're talking about. But you go and mention Peltz, who the hell is that? Nobody will know. Nobody knows. And the thing is that there has been history of Nicola Peltz being a not so very nice person, and even her family not being nice. You know, a part of me always says in order to become a billionaire, you kind of have to be cutthroat. You do have to, in a way, not give a shit about certain things because you need to be ruthless to get to that level of wealth and money. And Nelson Peltz is an investor. That's what he is known for. That's how he's made his money. One of his companies bought Wendy's, you know, that burger chain. He owns that. And basically, his daughter, he has 10 children from like two marriages. He has 8 kids from the wife that he's married to now. And Nicola, being one of the children, wants to become an actress. She wants to get into the whole Hollywood scene. She wants to become like a celebrity actress. But the thing is that with what is it? With Hollywood actresses, they work hard to get into their positions, and there's certain things that we're learning now these days that there are certain things that they do to get to their, you know, elevated roles. And Basically, what was said is that back in 2015, Bella Thorne, she's an actress, openly criticized an unidentified mean girl billionaire, leading many to surmise that her target might have been socialite Nicola Peltz. At the time, the then 27-year-old actress's cutting remarks set off a wave of speculation regarding the subject of her disdain. Gossip hinted that she might have been throwing shade at stars such as Kendall and Kylie Jenner, in addition to her pal Gigi Hadid. However, Bella clarified that her issue wasn't with the woman's wealth, but rather with her demeanor, stating, "It's not that I hate her because she's a billionaire," revealing that she avoided the unnamed billionaire at all costs, and declared her dislike stemmed from her personality and ostentatious display of wealth, adding, "I don't like her because she is a billionaire and makes sure everyone knows that she is." So Nicola was one of those that basically would go on set and let you know who she was. She would let you know that she was rich and she had a rich daddy. Okay. Nicola Peltz's family had a story written about them in the New York Post back in April of 2009. And basically, after I should mention that a year and a half later or 2 years later, they had a story put out completely like rebutting all this, claiming that they're not like anything like that was reported. But it said here that billionaires can be tough customers. And activist, investor, and billionaire Nelson Peltz and his wife Claudia are apparently some of the toughest, at least according to a harrowing anecdote published by City File last week. And they wrote, "We hear Miss Peltz summoned a butler to the master bathroom after she discovered drops of urine on the toilet seat. She demanded the butler clean it up, which he did, although she then insisted that he clean the toilet seat again and again. It was only after he'd cleaned the seat 4 times, once more for luck, she said, that Miss Peltz, perhaps detecting some frustration on the butler's part, informed him that she didn't like his attitude and dismissed him. It was Easter Sunday." And there was also another story that I have that was published long time ago. Let me pull it up here. And it's shared on, I found it actually shared back on Reddit because I remember reading about this. And they later on basically tried to wipe the internet of all of this gossip that was about them. But I remember hearing about this about Peltz's youngest daughter, Nicola. So Peltz's youngest daughter would routinely threaten maids that she will have her father fire them if they don't do as she asks. She's hardly bluffing. Her last nanny was reportedly hauled out of the house by two beefy bodyguards after the girl decided she didn't care much for her. Employee turnover at the estate is so high that new faces appear at the house on an almost weekly basis. This B list, mostly movie actress who had a pretty decent year a couple years ago, but has been lost in the shuffle of actresses who look just like her and are nice, spent a year firing maids every Friday. Well, she made her dad fire them. Our actress would make them work as much as possible and have them do as many disgusting things as possible, and then at the end of the week, fire them and start the process again with a new maid the following week. There was also apparently at least one incident where she pushed a nanny down the stairs. The family was also known for punishing staff for eating leftover food that was destined for the garbage, and her father has sexual harassment allegations by their maids. Hmm. Yeah, wild, huh? Crazy. And this is who Meghan Markle connects with. This is who Meghan Markle puts her name out there to be connected with someone who has history of allegedly pushing nannies down the stairs. There was also another story that where basically they made, well, Brooklyn had no say in the wedding, but Nicola Peltz's dad took the wedding planners to court after the wedding because he didn't want to pay for their services. This is a guy who is worth $1.9 billion. Okay. They had hired these wedding planners to come in just 6 weeks before their Florida ceremony and take over what the other wedding planners couldn't do. And you wonder why, because, well, their attitudes, their parents think that just because they're billionaires, they can be complete jerk offs to people. And here, basically, Nelson took these wedding planners to these two female wedding planners to court over a refusal. Well, he claims that they were refusing to return their $159,000 deposit. This billionaire wanted to try and destroy this business over $159,000, which is probably absolutely nothing to him. Let's be honest. For someone who's worth that much, they said that they would get like absolutely like 700 emails a day from them. They would call him the billionaire bully. They said that it was chaotic trying to plan the wedding because there were all kinds of secrets and scheming, and the bride was demanding, but they didn't want the Beckhams involved. They didn't want Victoria to have a say at all. They kept Brooklyn out of the wedding planning. The guy was completely cuckolded from the very beginning, just like Harry. Completely taken over. Is that like not a red flag for you to run as fast as you can? Is that not like, hello, can you go? Can you like run now? This is going to be your life in the future. So then basically Peltz called him and then basically started harassing and antagonizing the female wedding planners, asking them if they're crying, that he blocked all their emails. Do you think that was funny? Just real pathetic, small dick energy moves, right? Just a real asshole who thinks that just because he's got billions of dollars, he can treat people who are trying to make their businesses thrive and try and squish them and trying to, yeah, definitely hurt small businesses. I despise billionaires who think that they can be complete dicks to people. And let's be completely honest, if you were getting laid enough, you wouldn't be such a prick in the first place. But who knows? Maybe at his age, he can't see it anymore. Or maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. Who knows? Like I said, people with that kind of money need to make their kids work real jobs so they will know about life. I agree. I definitely agree. This enormous rich people believe they can do whatever they want, and why the press never before write about these things about Peltz and their parents. Well, the news is here. It's out there. You just got to do a quick Google search. And they did try and wipe the internet of like their bullying and how bad they were to their staff. And maybe I can see if there were more and any more information, because I know that there was like yeah, I mentioned that um, Nelson Peltz bought Wendy's, right? So I know that there was a huge protest down by their home in Florida by like a bunch of migrants who picked tomatoes, who wanted an increase in wage. And I don't know. I got to look more into it, but let's be let me just say this. Journalists today aren't like the journalists 20, 30 years ago that would go and actually dig up information. Journalists today and reporters today are stealing information from YouTubers, from people who post things on Twitter, and they make a story out of that. They really don't go searching and looking for anything. They're not digging deep for anything to get answers. They're very basic, they're very surface level, there's nothing special important. If there I bet you, look, this whole moon bump thing that has erupted with Meghan displaying her fake bump and thinking that we're all stupid and wouldn't catch on, You would think that there would be more people asking questions about it. There would be more people talking about it. There would be more news outlets, social media outlets like GB News, whatnot, or um, I don't really pay much attention to these news outlets because it's all full of cockamamie BS, but nobody's saying anything about it. I feel like it's mainly the YouTubers who are saying something. But you would think, right? Like, don't you wanna know if if Archie and Lily actually belong in the line of succession, which we all know that they don't? Maybe we should talk about that again tomorrow and bring that up, how all this trickery should be, cleared up. Maybe I need to find more photos, new photos that we have never seen before of how obvious the moon bump is and how obvious we can see it and how it moves around. That's what we should do. 100%. Yeah, no more Walter Cronkites. There are no like journalists today absolutely suck. Let's be honest. Gypsy woman says, I finally caught a live. Molly, love you, Molly. Definitely no more journalist has the balls to report the real news. And that's what the internet is doing. Look, I definitely believe that. Like, even like, okay, Dan Wooten's channel, like, bless Dan Wooten and his channel. And I congratulate him always for his meteoric rise on YouTube. His videos on Meghan Markle they do great. The numbers are wild. And that is amazing. Like, congratulations to him. But it's very surface. He talks about how he uncovered Megxit. He was one of the first ones to speak about it. So, what did you know? How much of a bitch was Meghan Markle to the staff? Come on, someone must have seen the moon bump. Everyone must have known she wasn't pregnant. Like, what's keeping you from talking about it and actually getting into it? And I feel like he kind of skirts around it. He kind of is very surface with like the stories that come out because I feel like now he's just trying to report what comes out on like the Daily Mail or whatever People reports. He wants to be the first one to get his numbers up. And I respect his work, but it's like, come on, Dan, give me something I don't know. Tell me something I don't know already. Why are these children within the line of succession? They should be removed. Is Harry actually Charles's son, or is he really a Pembroke? Pembroke? Did you guys notice this? I'm going to write this in the comment section, but then I wrote this out because if Harry is a Pembroke, then he would definitely be a Pembroke. He definitely is Pembroke at the moment. The royal family had to have known. They definitely should have known. I know that we are going left here at the very end of the live here, but I just wanted to highlight how much of an asshole here that Nicola Peltz and her family are. Oh, here it is. That thing that I was telling you about the tomatoes, that farm workers sue Palm Beach over a protest ban. I got to read more about that, and it has to do with a bunch of coalition of 40,000 field workers that they want a planned demonstration to be near the home of Wendy's CEO board chairman Nelson Peltz. Basically, the company's refusal to pay a penny per pound fee for its tomatoes to supplement some of the farm workers' wages. So they were having a protest about that because he didn't want to give them a little bit more money. But that's how billionaires stay rich, right? But let me show you guys this video because I asked this question on my X account and it got quite a lot of views. It got a lot of engagement. And I just want to, let me just turn off the sound. Let me show you here. Because if I could see this and I wasn't even here, okay? You guys see my screen here? So if I could personally see the outline and the prosthetic that Meghan Markle is wearing under her shirt through a video that was shared online, okay, through Getty Images, you're trying to tell me nobody in the royal family noticed her wearing a moon bump that day? Look at this. Watch. Do you guys see that? Right there. Do you see it? Do you see it right there? You can see exactly right where the shape of it, the outline, the top of the moon bump right here. Meghan Markle really pushed the limits, thinking that no one is going to say anything with her recent stunt. Now, if I noticed that this was a prosthetic here, how come, like, you're trying to tell me nobody else in the royal family could see this? Really? Completely see it, especially from the side. Here, you can see it right about here. She looks down because she knows there's something going on. Like, you can see it's a belt, and she made sure she wore her coat wide open too. And if you guys remember, it was during this walkabout, she was telling, um, the bystanders who were there greeting them, "Oh, I'm just about there. I'm almost due." And yet she didn't pop until, well, Gayle King didn't stop by with a package from Amazon until about later, May. Well, she was clutching it earlier, but yeah, she was making sure she was pulling onto Harry, trying to get close to William, and it was interesting. Anyways, my darlings, I always just question this, and I will always, always, always question this until we get an answer for that, because as long as those kids, I don't care to see Archofficial or Invisibed. I hope if Harry and Meghan, I know they don't have any children in their custody, but if there are any children named Archie, I hope he's got enough money for all the psychological help he's going to need later. That's all. But yeah, Meghan Markle, she didn't give birth to Archie or Invisibet. And until there is proof of those children being born of her body, and the fact that they're not even being raised in the UK, they shouldn't have a part within the line of succession. They shouldn't even be named Prince and Princess after their father has shown that he is a treacherous donkey who has no problem stabbing his own family in the back for a harlot, for a raggedy trollop who is best known for taking her clothes off in suits. That's when that's I don't know. We just want answers. I don't care to see the kids. I don't want to see those kids. I don't care for the AI children. I just want to know how these illegitimate surrogate born children got within the line of succession. That's all. We just want the truth. Why is that so hard to clear up? It should be easy for King Charles to clear that up. He's the king. Should be easy, shouldn't it? But anyways, I don't think it should be left for William to deal with, but King Charles, being the pussy that he is currently, I don't think he will deal with it, and we'll just leave it for William, which I don't think is right. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here because, mom life, the things never end. Got a pile of laundry. I've got a whole bunch of Hot Wheels to pick up here and organize. And I got to check on Monster too. But Charles is using his father's heart and not his monarch brain. And you know what's crazy, AB? I just want to say this before I go. The queen was, well, from what we're told, she was suffering from bone cancer, right? And the queen dealt with Andrew when she was ill. She dealt with stripping him and making sure that he has no more public duties or anything like that. And she was much sicker and much older than King Charles at the moment, and she dealt with it. If the queen could do that, then King Charles needs to grow a pair and deal with Harry and with Andrew and whatever's going on there, but mostly Harry. That's just my opinion there. I'd love to know what you guys think, and you guys, thank you so much for being here for this live tonight. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate the chat. And I appreciate the mods who made the time to be here. Yeah, just do something. People just want to see the king do something. Protect the citizens that the countrymen. That's who you represent. And right now, well, it's not very kingly. But, anyways, to all my American darling friends, have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. If I don't see you, I might be going away, but who knows? I'll try and make some time. But it all depends on the Wi Fi connection on where I'm taking my little gremlin. So, my darlings, I will talk to you soon. I hope you all have a good one wherever you are. And to all of those watching this on the replay, I appreciate you guys. And let me know what you think. Should Charles just do something already or what? And what about Meghan connecting with that bully Nicola Peltz? Anyways, she really has a bad track record for hanging out with terrible people. Anyways, darlings, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Bye.